facing us. We are facing life, and life is facing us. And we are being bombarded with social media issues, relationships, health issues. I have the responsibility to take care of an elder family member. I'm being judged unfairly. I'm getting on in age. Have I lived my life to the fullest? So whatever it is, this image of Krishna and Arjuna represents us in society, good people, decent people facing challenges in life, facing happy situations and bad situations. So in Arjuna's case, this is what happens to him. He started feeling ill. His limbs give way, according to what he said. His mouth gets dry, his saliva disappears. He started to feel cold. His body starts to shiver. Hair stands on end. The Gandiva, which represents his ego as well, starts to slip. His skin burns. Mentally, thoughts are pounding against his mind. Right? I used to sit on the lap of Bhishma Pita. Dronacharya was my tutor. I'm now confronting them. I am seeing evil omens. So he is now in an illusory state. And most importantly, I am forgetting myself. So, and this is his language on diagnosing his existing condition. And that is what we as a society do all the time. We face a situation, it affects us physically, mentally, and then the explanations start to come out. No good will happen to this war. What will happen if I win this? Or this person is against me. This person gave me a bad drive on your road. You know, all of these situations that come to us affect us physically, mentally, and then we express it in terms of language and in our actions. Diagrammatically, this is what happens to Arjuna and happens to all of us, where we are chasing these different situations in life. Food, position, friends, to gain fame, money, recognition, or just to be liked. Our senses, which are 10, so 5 jnani indriyas, like the sense of hearing, smell, sight, taste, and touch throughout the body. So 4 senses in the head, jnani indriyas in the head. And then you have organs of actions. The arms, the legs, the organ of procreation, organ of excretion, the mouth. The mind is considered to be the 11th sense. We see these things, we have the ambitions. I want a promotion, I want to get more money, whatever it is, I want greater health. And the senses go after it. So these objects that we chase pull us, just like the horses pulling on the reins, right? And it pulls the mind becomes flooded with thoughts. And my brother Mukesh will talk about the vrittis and how to control it. And it affects our breathing. And then we make poor decisions and then we incur more karma. So this is a picture of the chariot. This is our anatomy explained as to how we are attracted to different things. World Cup is coming on right away. Our senses are there on the schedule, pulling us in that direction. From a medical perspective, what Arjuna is going through and what we all go through is this. So when a situation is triggered, it triggers certain glands in the body. The amygdala is activated when we see a situation. If you see a threat, if someone tells you something that you don't like, if you feel that you are threatened in any way, financially, health-wise, you're feeling very lonely, you're feeling depressed, you become threatened. And when that occurs, a bodily reaction happens that sends a signal from the amygdala to the hippocampus. And when that occurs, blood starts to flow from the prefrontal cortex to the back. The prefrontal cortex is our logical part of the brain. So when the blood flows back, our ability to reason drops. And whenever we face into a situation, and it's any situation, we get a negative email, a situation, someone makes a comment at us, This occurs biologically. And what Arjuna is expressing is exactly that. He's expressing all of these symptoms. And finally, and to continue it, what happens is that our pupils dilate, saliva is decreased. So Arjuna, his mouth is parched, right? His heartbeat is increasing. He's having difficulty breathing. Blood is flowing away from the prefrontal cortex. So he is in this part, the right part, what medical science calls the sympathetic nervous system. And Sri Krishna is trying to get Arjuna to the other side, to the parasympathetic, where you are in a state of calm. And what Mukesh is going to do is show us how we can move from the sympathetic part of it to the parasympathetic part of it. So once again, when we are in this world, we experience situations that causes us to lose our equilibrium. When we lose our equilibrium and we start to behave like Arjuna, we find that we move, there are certain biological conditions that occur that causes us to make poor judgments, that causes us to get these torches pounding against our heads. And it affects our health, it affects our ability to sleep, it affects our ability to think. And all of this is what Arjuna is experiencing on the battlefield. So how does Bhagavad Gita help us with all of this? So Sri Krishna says, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Yada samharate chayam kurmon jnani vasarvashaha indriyani indriyarte vyaha tasya prajna pratishtita. Those of us who are able to withdraw our senses from chasing after the objects, like a turtle withdrawing its limbs, that person is calm in mind, and that person could excel in whatever that person has to achieve. So Sri Krishna is encouraging Arjuna to shift what is called his locus of control away from the externals to the internal, so he is in control of what occurs around him. You see, whatever occurs to us is a projection of ourselves. So it's not due to anyone. No, Bhagavan isn't testing us. There is no situation where someone is against us. It is our outward projection. So now as I hand over to Mukesh Ji, he's going to show us how we can use techniques from the Bhagavad Gita so that we can control these senses like wild horses galloping after the world out there, and to move our locus of control to outward to inward. Because when it moves inward, we are in control. So yes, bad things may still happen, but our capacity to deal with it improves. Yes, we may still feel some pain, discomfort due to diabetes, arthritis, whatever it is, but our tolerance of it improves, right? And our outlook in life starts to improve significantly. So now I hand over to Mukesh Ji to talk to us about the techniques that the Bhagavad Gita explains that we can use to manage the situation, to calm the thoughts, to be more productive at work, in school, in life, and to be a greater expression of this human body when we show up in society. So Mukesh, over to you.
Sitaram, can you release the video? Anil?
Yes.
Can you start the video? Okay, I got it.
You got it. Okay.
Sitaram, everyone. Welcome to this year's Shri Gita Jayanti celebrations. And tonight I'm tasked with looking at how the Bhagavad Gita has influenced and can influence our own lives via the use of yoga. Very early in Anil's introduction, I want to go back to one point he made about the gunas and how the gunas frame ourselves as individuals, because there are 3 different categories of characteristics that persons may possess. And I am saying that for purposes of yoga, Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita represents the average individual. And Lord Krishna, the Supreme, which exists within the average individual. And yoga via the Bhagavad Gita provides a solution so that you, the average individual, can achieve the union with Lord Krishna. So in regards to the gunas, I am saying that your characteristic, you, is framed by your environment. You are a product of your environment, your gross body, how you react, how you speak, how you converse with persons. You are a product of your environment, and it is your environment that impacts on you. So whether you are characteristics of a tamasic person, a rajasic person, or a sattvic person, these are all characteristics of individuals. And it is because of your own interaction within your environment, you yourself is framed in a particular way. Now, regard to the crusade tree, on the battlefield, the field of action, and G spoke about triggers. What are some of the triggers that confuse us? Getting old, relationship issues, money issues, difficult people at work. So some of these triggers impact on you and makes you the person you are. However, I am contending as a yoga student that yoga provides a solution. It provides a medium. It provides techniques where you can change yourself from being very tamasic to sattvic. I'm saying that in the Gita, the answers are there for you to change yourself. Another screen which Anilji shared referred to vrittis. We will at a later part in the lecture discuss where the vrittis are and how it can be controlled, and what is the relationship with the vrittis and yourself and yoga, and how yoga is designed to minimize the fluctuations of these vrittis in your mind. Remember, we use the mind loosely, and a clear understanding of where the mind is will help you to understand clearly how yoga provides a pathway. It provides a pathway for you to understand yourself. Because irrespective of what course or what type of yoga we want to use, at the end of the day, we as individuals have to understand that yoga is one. So we can go into a brief definition of yoga, but before we go there, let us look at one of the main triggers that create the gunas and create the type of person you are. And that main trigger is desire. Desire influences you. Desires could, in fact, take you down the right road or the wrong road. And it's this desire that provides challenges to the individual, the average man. It is these desires that create the issues in your life and provide the stumbling blocks, provide the vrittis, provide medical issues, provide lots of money. Yeah, nothing is wrong in that. But the average man, to understand where he has to go, must understand that he has to control in the best manner the desires that flood his minds, the desire that flood his thoughts, the desires that influence his intellect. So, moving along, the Gita and yoga. The Bhagavad Gita contains some of the most powerful teachings in the practice of yoga and offers us advice on who you really are, your true nature, the true nature of the average human being, your existence, the meaningful and importance of your own spiritual seeking. Remember, going back two steps backwards, we are average individuals seeking a path to our future, to a better future. So yoga, in my humble estimation, could provide that path. There are many yoga gurus that evolve over time. One that I'm sitting at his feet right now is B.K.S. Iyengar, one of the yoga gurus who introduced yoga to the West. And I would say that the West has now taken over yoga. And there are many now scientific journals that are measuring the effects of yoga on your mind, your own well-being. But coming back to the Bhagavad Gita specifically illustrates 3 types of yoga, which we should focus on. Karma yoga, which means doing your duty with control and without any attachments or actions to your action. No attachments to your action, doing it faithfully, performing your duty truthfully. You would find that you can go down that road and become a karma yogi. The Bhagavad Gita also refers to bhakti yogis, loving devotion towards your personal deity. Pandit at the Krishna Mandir, Anirudhi always refers to, you choose the deity which is most attractive to you and focus your mind on it. And you can go deep into bhakti yoga, devotion, and allow your own personal awakening. Jnana yoga, the Bhagavad Gita said, learning can lead to the same destination. The use of your knowledge to provide knowledge can lead to the same destination. I read recently in a novel written by a very popular yogi of this age, and his contention was that all these methods of yoga coming together in unison provides the true definition of yoga. He's saying that a karmic yogi or bhakti yogi or jnana yogi individually by themselves will not achieve yoga, because the true definition of yoga means a union. So to achieve that unitive state, they must come together. As again, you as an average individual faced with so much challenges on a daily basis, you'll have to understand that there must be some map that you must provide to achieve some sort of movement in the map of a yoga practice. So if you take the average person and assume that your body is made up of sheets, referred to as koshas, it's like the dissection of an onion. And you go from one level into the other level. And as you travel into the layers within yourself, you can reach the core. And the practice of yoga brings this and can allow this to happen. And many yogis who have resigned the meditation in the Himalayas or Rishikesh, in yoga ashrams in India, you'd find that they understand that to get deeper into the core of their body, there must be a technique. There must be some form of some bridge to take you there. So awareness of yourself, awareness of a physique, awareness of a body, awareness of your environment will take you there. But what is that medium? What is that process? In other words, what process is used to take you to the deeper inner cause of your own being? Assuming the mind is everything about yourself. Compose your mind, your thoughts, your action, your deeds, the person that you are. That is your mind. Then you have a physical body. So, but there's a correlation between the mind and the body. And what bridges that correlation? It is your breath. It is how you breathe, how you conduct yourselves, how you minimize all the gunas, how you minimize all the vrittis. How do you reduce yourself into a state of meditativeness to enjoy a yoga practice? So the breath as a technique allows you to move through the various cores of your own physical anatomy. Patanjali, a sage, wrote the Yoga Sutras. There's 195 short sayings, very short, and defined your physical body via very short saying, 195, and they're referred to as sutras. For our purposes today, because two sutras. One is Yoga Atha Yoga Anusasanam and Chitta Vritti Nirodha. What is Atha Yoga Anusasanam? Every Monday evening at our class at the temple, we speak about the yoga which you are doing here, the one part of the 8 limbs of yoga, which is the asanas which you do at that class, really can only benefit you. It can only benefit you at that point in time, meaning Atha. Atha means now. So the Yoga Sutra, the first Yoga Sutra of Patanjali, meaning Atha, he's saying that yoga, when it's practiced now, when you have all the variables in one place, at that point in time, you can achieve some form of union. So whether it is the characteristics of Pratihara, Niyam, Yamas, and I want to say at this point that these characteristics will be discussed at another class, at another lecture into the future, because we have agreed that at some point, we are going to discuss individually some of the characteristics of yoga. But coming back to Patanjali, he said, Atha Yoga Anusasanam. If it is that you have achieved this degree of unison within yourself, you would have achieved yoga. So what in the public's eye as asanas is not yoga. Yoga, according to Patanjali, when you have these 8 limbs coming together in unison. That is the point of yoga. Patanjali went on in the second sutra to say that, to speak, about chitta vritti nirodha. It means that how do you as an individual minimize the fluctuation of your mind? How do you minimize the desires that keep your mind to fluctuate? How do you minimize the issues you face on work, the issues that you face as a family, with the issues you face at the temple, with the community? How do you minimize the fluctuation of your mind? And many lectures before me and many lecturers always say that our mind is like a monkey. It's uncontrollable. Realistically, I feel so. Because today I am the calmest person in the world. And then tomorrow, I'm agitated for some reason. Is it something I ate? Is it that I didn't get enough rest? Is it that my body is tired? So there are so many physical issues, health issues, financial issues that impact on the fluctuation of your mind. And Patanjali is saying that to be in yoga, you have to minimize the fluctuation of your mind. And anyone can achieve that. Definitely will enjoy yoga. Remember, I'm saying that yoga is separate from asanas and postures. The postures and the asanas are a means to take you into yoga. The postures and the asanas are really designed with the use of your breath, with the inhalation and the exhalation of your breath, and the proper meditative movements of your body take you into yoga. Again, Patanjali is very clear on that. And the entire yoga world has adopted his philosophy. And now I've found, and by my readings, remember I'm a student of yoga, and I read a lot, that there's a lot of medical research that is taking place currently on the effects of the asanas, the effects of your breath on your body, your physical anatomy, your health. I saw recently a lecture on TEDx where the lecturer came from a place in Tamil Nadu. Tamil Nadu is a state, South Chennai. The city in Tamil Nadu is Chennai. And this lecturer was saying in his TEDx presentation that because of pranayama, he is able to see and test and justify that there are many solutions coming out of his saliva after pranayama. And the medical research continues. At his particular place in Chennai, their form of medicine is examining your pulse. And these yogis in Chennai will feel your pulse and tell you exactly what is wrong with you. And then prescribe some form of Ayurvedic ailment, Ayurvedic medicine for that ailment. Now, I have been to that place in Chennai, and I've seen the guys using leaves, where their research is recording on actual leaves in manuals. So I was very interested in this, and you all can check on TEDx to possibly look at that type of research. But yoga, to me, as a student of yoga, is a pathway to positively transform your life. The asanas and the exercises improve the circulation of blood in your system, and creates a different flow within your body and impacts on the state of your mind. Remember I said earlier on, I am really puzzled as a student to try to understand where my mind is. Because I cannot find a definition of where my mind is. My mind is not in my brain. But my mind, to me, is influenced by many other factors outside of my brain. You go back to the gunas. You go back to the type of person you are. You go back to your desires. So I'm saying that my mind is somewhere outside of my physical body. And use of oxygen via pranayama allows you to link your thoughts and that mind. So synchronized postures, proper inhalation, proper exhalation, ensuring that you're focused and concentrated in what you do. That use of the oxygen, inhaling and exhaling, brings yourself into a different frame of mind. Very meditatively you become. And later on in life, you realize with the constant practice, you begin to become more aware of who you are. You become more aware and you ask the question, am I the person actually seeing what I'm seeing now? Or who is the person that is really looking at what you are looking at now? And those are the type of questions that a yoga practice will bring into your brain, into your mind. Ask yourself, well, who is this person looking? Where is he saying me? Where is my chitta? Who is on my chitta? And that's a very, very interesting question that a yoga student wants to ask and wants to get an answer for. So the entire process of a yoga class and asana class will allow you to relax your postures. Most times the final posture in a class is a corpse pose, or the corpse posture, Sarvasana, where you try to relax your body and allow your focus to move throughout your body into different parts of your anatomy, so that you allow yourself to breathe and you allow yourself to let your entire focus move to a particular point on your anatomy and move it up from the toe to the head. And that is where, at that point in time, you are totally relaxed. You're in a very meditative frame of mind. And it's at that time, you'll find that meditation becomes very easy. I find it very difficult to leave work on an average day and go straight into meditation. But if I practice half an hour of stretching and breathing, it makes it very easy to change my state of mind to being meditative. And nothing is wrong if you have reached a state of meditativeness and your mind is drifting and your thoughts are moving and thinking about other desires. So nothing is wrong with that. What is important is that you try to do it. What is important is that you begin to become meditative, and you will see a total change in how you manage your business, how you manage your family, how you get along with your co-workers, how you look at your desires, whether your desires are important or not. You are able to make much more controlled and better decisions if you are becoming more meditative. So breathing techniques, to me, in my mind, provides the solution with regards to the movement of prana Pranayama, the word prana is your life force. And what is yama? Yama is the absence of a life force. So pranayama is what bridges your life force and keeps you physically and mentally stable. So yogic breathing techniques ensures that the pranayama revitalizes your body, controls your emotion, and creates a better state of mind for yourself. So prana means breath, respiration, life, vitality, energy, and strength. Pranayama allows you to elongate your breath, including restrain your breath. So if I'm inhaling fresh oxygen and I'm restraining it in my lungs, you would find that that oxygen, after a yoga class of asanas, that oxygen does 300% more than the average individual who is just breathing here, up and down, up and down, up and down. So the use of pranayama as a technique to strengthen your internal organs is what an asana class of yoga will do for you. It leads to contentment. And what everyone knows, that contentment is really the minimizing of your desires. If you are contented with what you have in life, you realize that you want to move yourself into another state of life. If you are contented with what you have in life or where you have reached in life, you realize that there's very little influence on your mind. It's very difficult for persons or your environment to influence how you think. And pranayama allows you, with proper breathing techniques, to reach that state of meditativeness and to reach that state of contentment in your life, minimizing those desires. As Anilji said earlier on, desires really manipulate your mind. And those desires, if they are minimized, you will be a much better person. Chitta Vritti Nirodha. How do you minimize the fluctuation of your mind? How do you minimize those vrittis, those whirlpool of thoughts? How can you minimize those thoughts? One method is, as the Bhagavad Gita said, Gyan Yoga. Be informed, have the knowledge, have the experience to move away those thoughts that allow your mind to fluctuate. You got vrittis. Vrittis will take your mind to all different dimensions. And how it is controlled, Patanjali is saying, by the use of pranayama. So what again influences those fluctuations? Maybe you don't understand the truth with regards to what you're doing. We are not applying truth in what you're doing. The popular saying, if you tell untruth today, you will have to tell more untruths to keep covering it up. So being well informed, dealing with actuality, dealing with what is in front of you, understanding what is in front of you. Not too much imagination. Try to get sufficient sleep. Don't oversleep. Persons love to sleep late, but sleeping late sometimes works against you. Don't send false messages to people. Be who you are. Let persons see you for who you are. Everyone here knows me, and they know who I am. I'm the person who will be outright and outspoken. I will be wrong at times, but nothing is wrong in that. Nothing is wrong in being wrong. But with proper knowledge, you learn and you develop and you move on. So Chitta Vritti Nirodha. How do you minimize the fluctuation of this mind? Because if your mind is fluctuating, there's very little you can do to meditate at that point in time. But tomorrow morning, your mind may not be fluctuating. You might be in a much more meditative state of mind. And you can easily get into meditation. Proper breathing techniques. Anil, do you want to come in for any reason?
Yes, that was really well said. There's one thing I would like to add, which is to build upon what you have said. We have the objects out there, we have the senses, and then you have the mind. The breath that Mukesh spoke about separates the senses from the mind and the thoughts. That is why in a stressful situation, if you take a deep breath, immediately you start to feel a sense of calm, because that breath cuts through like a knife into butter the thoughts and the anxiety. So you have the external world, the idam, which are the objects that we are chasing. Then you have the senses that go after the idam or the objects. Then you have the thoughts and the techniques that Mukesh is talking about, the breath that cuts in between the senses and the thoughts. Because when we start to think about objects, we descend to the level of the objects. But when we use that technique that Mukesh spoke about and we cut, we then start to lift above those objects and attract to ourselves that which is appropriate to us. So once again, if we start harping on the objects, we descend to the level of the objects. Cut using the techniques that Mukesh said, we lift, and then we attract other things that are more beneficial to us. Mukesh?
Okay. Yeah, sure. So in an average yoga class, which we do on a Monday afternoon, we do some hatha yoga techniques, and hatha really means the balancing of the lunar and the solar energies in your body. And how is that done? That is really done by proper breathing techniques. When you stretch, you do postures, you'll find that your body becomes balanced. And when your body becomes balanced, you'll find that all the other factors that impact on you is easily worked on, because your body is already balanced. Your mind becomes balanced. Your brain becomes balanced. And the proper breathing technique with the movements. So assuming we are doing, let's say, Surya Namaskar, 12 postures, we will do it on the left and on the right with the proper breathing techniques. So once you utilize the proper breathing techniques in an asana class, you'd find that your body itself, now your anatomy now, begins to relax. And your anatomy now will be able to minimize the desires. Your anatomy now begins to understand that, listen, I have reached here, but I can go here. I can resist more. My resistance builds. I can take more. People like to use the word stress, but I just work 3 times as hard. So you'll find that the proper breathing techniques in an asana class will ensure that you become meditative and you can go into yoga. Anyone, absolutely anyone can become meditative and achieve yoga. It requires discipline, it requires commitment, it requires true dedication to what you're doing. In my case, I spent some time under a yoga teacher, Dr. Sundaraya, in Port of Spain in Trinidad for 2 years, learning sequencing, learning how to sequence an asana class so that you take yourself from a standing posture into meditation. And that's what we do every Monday at the Krishna Mandir at 5:30 and everyone is welcome to attend. So I am tasked tonight to illustrate proper breathing techniques. So we are going to look at alternative nostril breathing. It's referred to as Analom Viloma. We will discuss Kapalabhati, Bhastrika, Ujjayi, throat breathing, and Sitali as techniques for breathing. Because as we said earlier on, proper breathing techniques allow you to merge your breath into your mind and your body. So once you can merge the breath, the mind, and the body, you can meditate. It's very easy. It becomes very easy to meditate. The breath, the mind, and the body. So I'm not certain if I would like everyone to put on their video so that we can at least practice some of the breathing techniques. Anil, can you release the video?
Yes. Which slide?
No, I'm now about to look at some of the techniques, the breathing techniques, alternative nostril breathing. Yeah.
This? Okay.
Yes, this will work. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So if you make your hands like this, it's called a mudra, if you all can see it. And these two fingers will block the left nostril. And the thumb will block the right nostril. So alternative nostril breathing asks you to inhale through the left, count for 4, hold that breath for 8 counts, and exhale that breath by lifting your thumb through the right nostril, counting for 8 times. Alternative nostril breathing means that you alternate it. So now you will inhale with your thumb up through the right nostril, close it, count to 8, exhale through the left nostril, counting to 8. Now I would like to say at this point that the longer you can exhale is the healthier you will become. Because something is happening with the inhalation breath and the exhalation breath. Those two breaths, those two oxygen and carbon dioxide is merging, and it is taking away the toxins from your body. So the inhalation breath, holding for 4 counts or 8 counts, if you can exhale for 16 counts, you realize that you remove more toxins from your body, from your bloodstream, through that exhalation breath. So the exhalation breath is more important in my mind than the inhalation breath. So the more you learn to exhale, the more healthier you become. Also, I want to go another step further. So we are doing alternative nostril breathing, inhaling with the left, holding, counting, exhaling with the right. Opposite side, inhale with the right, holding, exhale with the left. I also want to introduce at this point that when you're inhaling, you allow your stomach to go out. Excuse me if I'm using my left hand because I'm holding my stomach. So when you're inhaling, you practice to allow the stomach to go out. So you're filling all your lungs with oxygen. When you're exhaling, you allow your stomach to go in. Now, this is a practice that you can do while you're driving your vehicle. The inhalation and the exhalation. You cannot do alternative nostril breathing while you're driving. Don't get me wrong there. But you can breathe while you're driving by utilizing oxygen and moving the stomach out, exhaling by moving the stomach in. And the further you can take your stomach in while exhaling, is the healthier you will become. If you are jogging, if you are walking, if you are running 5K, 10Ks, you'll realize that this type of breathing exercises will assist you. Understanding how you breathe, understanding how the breath is going in to your system and how it is leaving. I want to repeat again. Inhale more, lift the chest, lift the shoulders, inhale more, and exhale 3-4 times the amount you inhale. And your general physique, your health will improve. Another technique after alternative nostril breathing is Kapalabhati. Kapalabhati refers to skull breathing. It is referred to as skull breathing. And it allows you to intake a fresh take of oxygen very forcefully exhale it. Now let's pause here. Inhalation and exhalation must only take place through the nostrils. There's no exhalation through or inhalation through the mouth. The inhalation happens through the nostril, the exhalation happens through the nostril. Kapalabhati. What is Kapalabhati? It involves very forcefully, I will demonstrate very forcefully inhaling and very forcefully exhaling. So what happens? Why is it called skull breathing? Because of the amount of oxygen goes to your lungs, sometimes you can become very lightheaded. There's an abundance of oxygen that your system have to digest, have to take in to your bloodstream. And when you have inhaled so much oxygen and you haven't forcefully exhaled, there is an inhalation coming with not sufficient exhalation, and that merging. When you exhale again, it removes your toxins from your body. So I'm encouraging you all to use Kapalabhati as a form of breathing. Another form of another technique, Remember, these techniques are designed to calm you. These techniques are designed to link the onion, link all your koshas, link all your bodies within you together. Go towards your core. So these techniques are not only for your well-being. Something happens to you after you have done these techniques over and over and over. And that type of transformation allows you to go deep, deep into your inner core. So let's look at another, is Bhastrika. Bhastrika requires you to inhale forcefully by lifting your arms like this. Again, it's similar to Kapalabhati. You are using your stomach. When you go up and you inhale, your stomach goes out. When you exhale, your stomach comes in. Again, Bhastrika brings a lot of oxygen to the brain, and there's this lightheadedness that happens. But I'm guaranteed that after a yoga class of postures and asanas, you feel very energized after versus lightheadedness. The last technique I would like to speak about involves, no, go back up. Involves the use of your tongue. And it's called steli. It's a breathing technique that's used to cool your brain. And if you look closely, you'll see what I'm doing. I'm curling my tongue inwards, and I'm inhaling. So my tongue will come out, sorry. I hope you accept that apology. But my tongue will come out and curl. And I'm inhaling. That cool breath cools your throat and goes down to the stomach. So it is referred to as Sitali. So I'll discuss one more, and it's called Ujjayi breath. Ujjayi breath involves inhaling, utilizing your throat as a medium. So you're using your nostrils, but you're inhaling very strongly, utilizing your throat. So let's try it. I'm not sure if you have heard the hissing of my throat, but what is happening is that oxygen is coming through my throat while I inhale and going down to my stomach. My stomach is expanding and my stomach is contracting as I exhale. So those types of breathing techniques designed not by me, by Patanjali, to ensure that you can move from one state to another state, to bring the gunas intact, in check, to minimize your desires, to lead to better health, to communicate better, to have better relationships with your family, your friends, your co-workers, your bosses, your bankers, your foreign suppliers. So all the challenges that you face as an average individual, if you practice pranayama and some of those techniques, you realize that over time, your entire persona will change and you'll become a better person. You become an easier person. You'll be able to take more stress. Because stress is what leads to 90% of people's sickness and issues of health. It is the stress which they can't cope with. And I'm saying that pranayama, proper breathing techniques, allow you to minimize those issues that come down the line. Someone is asking a question. So let's now move into meditation. And what is meditation? Patanjali used the term stereo sukhamasana. What does it mean? To go into meditation, or to sit into a meditative posture, you have to be extremely comfortable. If standing makes you comfortable, well, fine. If sitting makes you comfortable, even better. If sitting on the floor with crossed legs or in a jolly posture makes you comfortable, you have to be comfortable in that posture before your mind can go into meditation. You can close your mind, you can close your eyes, sorry, and bring your fingers together and sit there for hours, but you are not in meditation because you did not bring yourself into a very meditative mode to meditate. You might be sitting there, you might be looking so saintly, but I'm saying nothing is wrong in that, but I'm saying that if you want to get into that meditative mode, you have to make yourself comfortable. You have to develop a type of discipline and awareness of yourself. That self-discipline and awareness of understanding how to bring yourself into a meditative mode will ensure that your environment is the best environment to meditate. Like I can say categorically that I can walk in Sunday morning, on a Sunday morning at the temple and sit down to the back and close my eyes, and I will enjoy maybe 3 minutes of meditation, interrupted with good music, good songs, uplifting discourses by Panditji, so that it is easy if you are in an asana class to take yourself where I can take myself as a student of yoga, because I can bring myself into a very meditative environment. So I may meditate for a maximum of 1 minute, 2 minutes, hardly reach 3 minutes, and then your mind drifts. What is happening on work? What's happening with those machines? Are those boys getting through? Why my phone is ringing? So these are real life situations that you may want to meditate. You have to also deal with other issues. Now, those other issues creates an environment that you have to challenge yourself to work within. And I say challenge myself very loosely, because all of us can challenge ourselves differently. But again, with proper breathing techniques, you'll find that you can take yourself into meditation. And before I close, and before I hand back on to Anil, I want to say that the easiest method, having achieved a meditative state of mind, the easiest method of taking yourself into meditation is to follow how you are breathing, follow your breath, follow how you are intaking oxygen and exhaling carbon dioxide. If you can follow your breath, if you can focus attentively on how you are breathing, you find that you can take yourself very easily into meditation. Once you reach that point, that meditative point, and you can follow your breath up and down, how you're breathing, how you're inhaling, how you're exhaling. And by the process of following that breathing, you would realize that you will slip into meditation unconsciously. You will get into meditation very easily by following your breath. Second technique is to, as Panditji always say on a Sunday morning, to look at your deity. Put that deity in your mind and go internally and perform Manas Puja. Perform puja to that deity. Perform washing of his feet, bathing him, offering him clothes, offering him some flowers, applying chandan, applying sindur, and take that deity with you. And once you have focus in your mind with regards to that form of Manas worship, you'll find that you will be in meditation, because your mind is only focused I'll use an example. My mind is only focused on Lord Ganesh. So I will bathe him, I will clothe him, I will offer him something, a seat in my mind. I will offer him some chandan. I'll offer him some sindoor and ask him to be with me. I will pray to him and say, hey, Lord Ganesh, I want you to be with me. I want you to be with me now. Atha Yoga Anusasana, meaning I want you to be with me now. So this form of meditation is very useful to you. It's very useful to your environment. It's very useful to your community because you are a product of your community. So Manas Puja and following the breath, in my mind, is two of the easiest methods to slip into meditation. So let us, as individuals, as householders, as husbands, as wives, as children, let us really minimize all those environmental factors that impact your mind. And you'll realize that you yourself, rather than achieving 100% on an average day, you'll get 250% on any average day. Proper breathing techniques, be attentive to yourself, be aware of yourself, be aware of who you are, be aware of your surroundings, your environment, the people you interact with, and you'll realize that you very well on the way to meditation. Sit around. Anil, all yours.
Thank you, Mukeshji. That's very, very well done. Very inspiring. I know it's getting late, but there's one question to ask, and that is, Mukeshji's question was, when we're doing these techniques, should you meditate on anything? Should you focus on any image, deity, or just focus on the breath? What is your view?
In terms of, if I am in a class, if I'm in a classroom setting, like on a Monday evening, we will focus on our breath. If I'm at the temple, it's very easy to focus on the deity. It depends on where you are placed at any one time. Yoga, Atha Yoga Anusasana, in terms of where you are at that point in time. Atha meaning now. So where you are at that point in time, if you are driving up the highway to Port of Spain, I know quite a number of my friends on this chat now go to Port of Spain very early in the morning. You find that it's very easy to focus on the road as well as allow natural breathing to take place. And when you reach on work now, when you reach in workspace, it is very easy for you to concentrate and focus on the task at hand because you would have already energized your body with the proper oxygen moving into Port of Spain. Does that answer the question?
Yes, I'm sure it does. Yes. Good. Okay. So thank you very much, Mukeshji, for taking time off to explain what could be a very complicated topic. You made it very simple. And for everyone on the call, Mukesh has offered to have a session, a full session, at least once a month for anyone who wished to attend. He could go into detail. He also conducts yoga classes at the Mandir every Monday. So Mukesh, thank you very much again. It was a wonderful discourse and really good hearing you. I want to thank everyone for attending. Thanks to Pandit Rudranath Maharaj, spiritual head of the Mandir, Pandit Devendra Rampasad, who will be hosting the Gita Jayanti session on Saturday, the 3rd of December at the Mandir. So if everyone could attend, we would really appreciate that. I want to also particularly thank Roger Bissoon. There was a technical issue getting this link out, and Roger, I really appreciate you getting this out to everyone in time. And of course, to Amral for helping with the recording behind the scenes. So thank you very much, everyone. Our next session will be on next week, Tuesday, and we will be sending out more information on that. And a representative from Swaha will be here to join us in delivering these discourses. So I want to thank everyone again. The theme for our session as we build up to Gita Jayanti is Uttishta Parantapa, which means to rise up. And what Mukeshji is saying is that we cannot rise up if we are holding on to different things, regrets of the past, thoughts of the past, anticipation of the future, the objects that we chase. So these techniques are to cut the mental attachment to these situations, real or perceived, so that you can rise. And that is why during this time, as we emerge from the pandemic, which is of a physical nature with a virus, we as a people now need to cut this pandemic of the mind, where we are constantly in thought, engagement in thought that is not productive. So Uttishta Parantapa is the theme as we go through each of these sessions.
Right. So
I would like to close, and we always at the Sri Krishna Mandir, very simple in our prayer. We bow to the feet of Sri Krishna. Hey Bhagavan Sri Krishna, everything comes to you. You are the ultimate form. Hey Bhagavan Sri Krishna, from you, all things happen, and into you, all things go. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. And Hey Bhagavan Sri Ganesh, Hey Bhagavan, you are the beginning, middle, and end. You are that which projects Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh into creation. Hey Bhagavan Sri Ganesh, I bow before you. Om Gam Ganapati Namaha. We begin always with Sri Ganesh and we end in the name of Sri Ganesh. Hey Bhagavan Sri Ganesh, please remove all of our obstacles as we go forward. Thank you everyone for joining us. It was really great being in your presence. Again, please take Mukesh up on his offer to have a session on a more frequent basis at the Sri Krishna Mandir. Thank you very much, everyone. Be safe. See you all next week at our next session.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.